My fiancé Derek, M24, and I, F25, have known each other since birth. Our families are very close. We live in the same neighborhood, go to the same church, do volunteer work, and have the same friends. I was his first love when we were 7 years old, but he wasn't mine. We became good friends. A few years ago, I was in a bad relationship with Leon. Derek was engaged to Emma. For context, Emma was kicked out of her house due to a fight with her mother and went to live with Derek. Derek was living with his family and had no money to move with Emma. Derek's parents and Emma herself began to pressure him to get married soon. He was feeling really for Asker in this situation. We were all friends and went out as couples and sometimes in large groups with mutual friends. We did our best to welcome Emma. Things got complicated when Derek and I were spending time alone. We did voluntary work counseling teenagers. In general, we cannot share with other people what we hear, especially because everyone knows everyone in our community. So we talked alone about each one of them and how to help. Emma didn't like it. She was insecure, and I knew that, so I understood her, even though I thought it was exaggerated. Derek and I limited ourselves to talking during social work or when our mothers visited each other. One day there was a charity event I was supposed to attend. Derek was going with Emma and offered me a ride. Emma gave up going with 30 minutes left, and Derek and I went alone. After the event, Emma called me out in front of Derek's family, and we didn't know how to act. She complained, saying that I could have taken an Uber. Derek's mother defended me and told Emma that I had been in his life for years, and she had no right to treat me that way. The elephant was in the room. I waited and talked to Emma privately. She was uncomfortable seeing me alone with Derek even when we hanged out as a group, and she wasn't totally wrong. Derek and I like the same things since we were kids, and I understand him. He is slightly autistic and has problems with social interaction and emotion processing. I'm shy too, which brought us together as children. Emma and my ex were the total opposite. They loved being the center of attention when we go out. I had no problem talking with other people when Leo was with his friend, but Derek ended up being alone, so I stuck around. Even though she knew all this, she complained. I apologized for that, and she apologized for calling me out in front of everyone. A few weeks later, Leon and I broke up, and then out of nowhere, Emma told me she was buying an apartment with Derek, but she was feeling suffocated. She needed some time away before the marriage. She wanted to live alone and asked if she could live with me for a few weeks before moving out. Derek was okay with that and told she was very dependent on him and would be good for her live by herself for the first time. I live with my parents. After a family meeting, we agreed to let her live with us, and I got a roommate. I thought it was a good way to solve things between us and have company after the breakup. We became very close friends. We went to work together and talked a lot about her and Derek and personal stuff. One day I got home, and she wouldn't get off her cell phone, and I could see it wasn't Derek. I went to the kitchen and saw my father on his compy's cell phone typing too. I thought it was weird because he usually didn't work late. It didn't take long to connect the two in my head, but I needed to be sure. I downloaded an app to hack messages and managed to get my father's cell phone. What I saw was shocking. Emma had cheated on Derek more than once and decided to confess to my father, but then she started hitting on him, while my mother slept upstairs and she lived in my house. My father was no saint. He didn't accept the advances, but he also didn't cut off. I confronted them. I told her everything I had seen. She tried to deny it, but I had screenshots and just asked her to leave my house. I did the same with my dad when she was gone. It was crazy. A lot of fights. Derek screamed at me because I didn't tell him, and he was right, but it was just too much. In the end, the family sat down to talk. My father confessed everything, and Emma blamed me. She said she only cheated on Derek because she was insecure about me, and she clung to my father because he was the only one who was nice to her. She said that Derek's life was too bored for her, and I was too sane to understand what she was going through. My parents' marriage didn't end, but it was rough. Derek and Emma had a break. Derek couldn't process half of emotions of all that and preferred just to give it a break. Even with all this, me, Derek, and our parents helped Emma find a place and move because we didn't want her to be homeless. A month later, she moved to the house of her lover, and they started dating. Derek took it really hard. They had already bought the apartment, he almost went bankrupt, and she just didn't care. We helped each other, but it was worse for him. In some days, he wasn't able to get up of the bed, and I needed to go to his house. He said he didn't want to marry her at the beginning, but was trying his best to be a man and couldn't understand why he wasn't enough. Derek and I ended up becoming closer. The pain brought us together in an unimaginable way, and we ended up falling in love. It was so easy. When we kissed the first time, it felt natural. We decided to wait. We didn't have the courage to get involved, so it became platonic. We were very hurt, and we knew a relationship would make our situation worse. Emma got married a year later. Meanwhile, Derek and I were just trying to heal, he more than me. We told part of the story to our closest friends, just that Emma cheated on Derek because my mother asked us to keep things about my dad private. 2 years later, Derek and I were ready to move on. We dated for a year and got engaged last Saturday. We celebrated with a few friends and our family. The problem is that some people and family members were very angry with our engagement due to what Emma was spreading. It seems I was Derek's lover. I finally ran out of patience and told some nosy people the real story, and they still said it was my fault because I shouldn't have gotten so close to Derek. Because our friendship weakened their relationship, even though we had always been friends. I know friendship between a man and a woman is a complicated thing, but I feel that if Emma hadn't come to live with me, she and Derek would have gotten married. Derek would never know she cheated on him, and they would be together. I love Derek with my life. He is my soulmate, but I would never know that. I would probably never have looked at him differently if it wasn't for this whole situation.